Good morning. Scientists reveal the secrets of superagers. Okay, what is superagers? Wouldn't you like to stay mentally sharp as you get older? Of course. Although it's considered normal for people to become mentally slower and more forgetful as they age. Research from the US suggests that it doesn't have to be that way. Good. For 25 years, researchers at Northwestern University have been studying people over the age of 80 whose brains have stayed unusually sharp even as they get older. The researchers have dubbed such people superagers. Good morning, my baby. The researchers used a simple test to identify superagers. They were people aged 80 or over who could remember 9 words about 30 minutes after someone read them a 15-word list. Although remembering 9 words would be typical for someone aged 56 to 66 years old, it's much higher than average for someone aged 80 or older. Using neuroimaging, the researchers found that while the cortex or outer layer of the brain gets thinner as we age, in superagers this process is much slower. Over 18 months, the thickness of the cortex in superager brains was reduced by 1.06% compared to 2.24% in the brains of other people. And in a part of the brain called the anterior cingulate, the researchers found that the cortex of superagers was thicker than it's typical for people aged 50 to 60. Interestingly, this part of the brain is associated with motivation and sociability, and in fact, a notably common personality trait of superagers is that they are very sociable, active, and outgoing. Autopsies on the brains of superagers who had died revealed that superagers also had more of a certain type of neuron that is associated with sociability. The researchers believe that superagers may be born with a higher number of these neurons. They also found evidence that the brains of superagers were able to resist typical age-related degeneration and were more resilient to degeneration when it occurred. The researchers say that by studying superagers, we may be able to develop ways to keep people's brains healthier and sharper as they age. I hope so. I wonder. I am very sociable. So, discussion. What are your thoughts on the findings of this study? Very interesting, very interesting. Then I think sociable people who actually do many things as some activity, I think can stay healthy and young, because those interaction, different interaction every day would probably stimulate the brain. Yes. Who are the oldest people you know? Hi. Aisha, come over here, my baby. Yeah, my big boy. Okay. Who are the oldest people you know? Probably my parents. Do you know any superagers? I think my parents can be superagers because they're very active they're nearly 90 now, but they can do many things with a cell phone and PC and very, very active in many ways. Are you super surprised that the superagers tend to be sociable? No wonder though. Active and outgoing. I think it's necessarily. The stimulation from outside, if it's the same every day, you stay home, you do the same thing every day, and I guess it's not good. What do you think are the best ways to keep our minds sharp as we age? I heard something that you go on a depression if you don't talk to 5 people a day. So having interaction with like other people is very important, I think. Hairs, cat hairs. Who would you say are the most inspiring older people you know? Well, my parents can be, but some of the people on the Instagram, I kind of follow some active old people. Yeah. For the discussion, do you know anyone who never seems to age? Everybody ages. There's a one lady in Osaka. She's over 60, but very, very pretty, very upgoing. She goes on a contest and everything. Yeah. What would you say are the best things about getting older? You get wiser. Have you, how have your views on aging changed over the years? I didn't like getting wrinkles and looking old, but nowadays I'm kind of okay about that. Yeah, because I know like I'm wiser. Yes. If you could give your younger self one piece of health advice, what would you be? Don't eat those 4 bad things: flour, uh, vegetable oils, dairies, and sweet things. Yes, reduce. I think I took too much oil that affects my health a lot when I was around the age of 40s, because I was eating a lot of those in the age of 20 to 30s. So my 40 was pretty sick, but now I'm over 50 and I'm very, very healthy. Yes, it matters not how long we live, but how. That's true, yes. Philip James Bailey, what are your thoughts on this quote? Yeah, it took a bit time to understand, but yes, it's about how you live, né? If you don't, I think you wouldn't like to stay on the bed forever, just living. Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I want to be active and happy, and yeah, with my babies and my daughters and my husband, family.